Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chef Cody James with Manhattan Catering. Thanks to LipServiceInc.com, we get to bring you this great cooking concept. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of New Orleans. We're going to have a little bit of fun with New Orleans. We're going to do a nice bread pudding. I'm going to start the bread pudding first, and then after the bread pudding, I'm going to do Louisiana crab cakes with a nice salad and a little bit of vinaigrette to go over the top. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. Now, to start the bread pudding, we're going to start with a little bit of coconut milk. And let me put this in the back here, get it out the way. Some brown sugar. A little bit of cream. Now, I personally like raisins, so we're going to go ahead and throw in a whole lot of raisins. Then we've got some pecans here, chopped pecans. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut the bread into small cubes. Now, this is just basic over-the-counter bread, nothing fancy, no homemade bread here. So all you people that don't like to bake, don't worry about it. You just have a little fun with just regular old bread. And then we're going to just go ahead and whisk this up real quick. And you want to get it as tight as possible and get all the bread broken up as fine as you can possibly get it. And that's where the fun's going to be. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more cream. And then I'm going to add 2 whole eggs. Now, don't try this at home. You get yourself in a little bit of trouble. 1 and 2. Now, you want to beat this until the bread's completely broken up. There you go. So it looks like that. Then I've got a pan sitting here with a little bit of water. And then I've got my dishes that we're going to be putting the bread pudding in. Then we go ahead and we fill the dishes. There we go. Now we're going to go into a 350-degree oven. Let me clean off these just a little bit. Okay, 350-degree oven for about 15 minutes, and then they will be beautiful. And there we go. Ouch. Oven's nice and hot. And there we go. Okay, now that's the bread pudding. Now, as the bread pudding works, let's work on our crab cakes real quick. Okay, I've got a bowl here. Got 2 eggs. Excuse me 1 second. Got my crab meat here. Now, this is real lump crab meat, okay? This is the best you're going to get for crab cakes. A lot of people try to use other types, but this is the best that you're ever going to get. And I hope you can see the can. It's the best product you're ever going to get for crab cakes. And Never use anything with a K when it comes to crab. Please. If it has a K, it's not real crab. Okay? Now, we've got some onions here and some red pepper. Here, let me move that out of the way just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to move that. Here we go. There we go. Then we're going to do the onion real quick. I know most people would have this stuff pre-done, but I want you guys to see exactly how we actually cut things up here, because in time, you can do it as well, and you'll find that it's very easy to do. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, let me show you that one more time. There's a secret to onions. Everybody always says that you have to cut in that way and then cut around. If you actually start on the far corner and make that slice inward and then go all the way around and do the exact same thing on the other corner, you'll find that you'll get a perfect dice each and every time. And it'll be an even dice as well. That's an old trick from the Culinary Institute. So when you do that in front of your friends, just kind of make it look nonchalant, and they'll just go, "How'd you do that?" Then you can have a little fun with them. Okay, we got a little bit of salt. And a little bit of pepper. I'm going to get some flame going here. And let me get a pan and some breadcrumbs. Okay, now let's just bring these breadcrumbs to everything together like this. Steve, are you getting this?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. I got to introduce you guys to Steve. He's our cameraman. He's a great guy. Let me put a little bit more breadcrumbs in there. There we go. Beautiful. I had to run off and get some garlic real quick, so I apologize. But, okay, now. Here we go. Now, whenever you're working with garlic, just smash it with your knife first, and you'll find that it'll work out perfect every time. Then you can get a good chop on it. And that's how you get a beautiful minced garlic. Okay? Then we're just going to get that garlic in there too. Now, those are beautiful crab cakes. Louisiana style. Now we're going to use some olive oil. And as you can see, I preheated the pan. I'm going to pull this pan off just for a second. It's a little warm. Let me just form my cakes. And don't be afraid to use your hands. Using your hands is the fun part. Everybody always says, get some gloves. If you ever see a chef in the kitchen with gloves, he's not doing his job. I'm going to go ahead and make 6 and do a nice platter. Okay, now, we've got our olive oil heating. Now, we're going to go ahead and do 6 nice crab cakes. And cook these nice and slow. Spatula. Okay. Excuse me one sec. Let me wipe my hands. Okay, now, while the crab cakes are working, we're going to go ahead and get our salad together. I know that's kind of a large bowl, but I like large things like that. Let's get all of our mise en place together for that. And another thing that you will never hear anybody tell you to do, when you're working with one thing and you want to use a clean board, there's a clean board. Okay, now, we've got some romaine lettuce here. And we're going to go ahead, do a nice chop with that. Get a nice peak there. And we've got some tomatoes. These are nice Roma tomatoes. I think you guys will find that Romas are very sweet and they have a lot more flavor. I use different tomatoes for different things. Obviously, I love beefsteak tomatoes as well. But for this dish, Roma is definitely my favorite. Then we got a little bit of carrot here. Yes, I have a garbage can down here. I know, I cheat. And now let's go ahead and flip these real quick. Oh, look at that color. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that a gorgeous brown? That's what you're looking for. You don't want them cooked, you don't want them dark, you just want them really light and luscious brown. There you go. Isn't that gorgeous? Then we just let them cook the rest of the way. Now I'm doing some carrot florets real quick. It's really easy practice. I've been doing these since I was a kid. It's all it is halfway around, half cut, straight down, and all the way around. And once you get used to it, you'll be able to crank them out really fast. Three is good. Let's just put those right in the center. We're going to build this beautiful salad. See, there's only 2 people in the studio today, so I don't want to make too much food. They got to eat all this. Okay, then we got some onion and some zucchini. And I'm going to go ahead and do florets with the zucchini. Cucumber. Onion and cucumber. I'm going to go ahead and do some florets with that. And we'll put those around the outside. One more. Actually, I'm going to do 2 more because I want to put one right in the center. Yeah. And then a little bit of onion. Now the onion, we're just going to do a nice julienne on and just lay this across the top. Yeah. Ooh. Now the crab cakes are just about done. Okay, here we go. And we're just going to lay the crab cakes around like so. I love to serve things family style, as you will see. And I tell you what, you bring this out to your guests, and they will love you. I guarantee it. There's one last thing that we have to do, and that is we need to make a little vinaigrette. Now, to make the vinaigrette, now, I'm going to show you guys an old secret, okay? I'm going to do a garlic and Dijon vinaigrette. Linda, can you get me some Dijon mustard, please? Now, we're going to cheat a little bit on this. I'm going to show you guys a really old secret when you're working with dressings. If you bring them up to a boil, nice throw. If you bring them up to a boil while you're cooking them, you'll be surprised. They won't break on you later. Okay? Can you also hand me another whisk? Thank you. I know that off-camera throwing is just kind of like interesting, isn't it? Okay, here we go. Here you go, right here. Now, as this is coming to temp, we've got some olive oil. And we're just going to slowly drizzle in some olive oil. And we have red wine vinegar. And don't be afraid of how much vinegar you got in there. You want it nice and loose, but you want it to be flavorful too. So There you go. Now, you see how nice and loose that is? Now, if it's too shiny, it's too much oil. If it's not shiny at all, it's not enough oil and too much vinegar. But if it's nice and pale, it's perfect. Now, we're going to salt and pepper this. Let me go ahead and whisk that just a little bit more. Beautiful. Okay, that's a done deal. Now, as I move that, I bring this. And that needs to come to a roaring boil. And here's your dressing. And it's delicious. I guarantee you it is definitely delicious. Now, one last thing. The bread pudding is coming along perfect. If you can see the edges are starting to brown just a little bit, that lets you know that it's getting close. Beautiful. Okay. Now, as the bread pudding works, we're going to take a little bit of cream, a little brown sugar, 1 egg yolk. That's the oldest way in the world of separating an egg. And pecans. And last but not least, a little bit of coconut milk. And we're going to whisk this together over a double boiler and make a nice praline sauce. And this takes about 2 to 3 minutes over a double boiler. Now, if you're real good, you can do what I'm about to do and cheat. But don't tell anybody I did this. This is just between you and me, okay? Don't tell anybody. Just go straight over the sauce. Straight over the heat. But if you go straight over the heat, it's very important that you keep it moving at all times or else it's going to scorch on the bottom. And you don't want that. Let me give that a taste. Oh, it's really great. Let's keep it moving. Let's put a little salt in there, too. I know you're saying you're salting a dessert sauce. Salt brings out the flavor in most things, and it'll definitely bring out the flavor in this. So if you need it, use it. Okay, we got that working beautifully. And in just a second, the bread pudding will be coming out. Bringing out the bread pudding. Whoa, 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 whoa. Come on, baby. Nice and easy. Now, if you look at this bread pudding, you'll see something very interesting. Notice how light it looks right now. That's what you're looking for when you make this Louisiana bread pudding. Okay? And it's hot, too. Here, I'm just going to put one bread pudding right here. Whoa. And I'll just put the other one back up top. Okay. Then we're just going to let the sauce just finish real quick. Then we got a sauce boat right here for the bread pudding sauce. Okay, the sauce for the bread pudding is done. I'm just going to put a little in this boat right here. Now, personally, me, I think a nice Chardonnay would go really great with this meal. So, we are pretty much done right now, but I'm going to open up this bottle of Chardonnay. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite my cameraman, Steve, to come and have a quick sip with me. We got a couple glasses here. Come on down, Steve. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve. He's my cameraman, my production guy. Steve does everything. He's my genie. Oh, no problem. And we're going to have a little bit of Chardonnay. Now, when I first met Steve, I can't remember exactly where it was, but he had me laughing the whole time, so I knew he would be great to work with.
Okay.
And Steve, go ahead and try a crab cake real quick. There you go.
Yeah, man.
Now, if Steve loves it, I know you're going to. You want to try the bread pudding?
I like the dressing. It's kind of warm.
Mm-hmm. And it goes great with the Chardonnay. You'll find that's the one thing. This dressing and that Chardonnay, perfect match.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you guys very much for joining us, and catch us next week. We're going to be doing something really strange next week, so don't be surprised. I think we're going to probably cut up a chicken, and I don't know what we're going to do with it, but we'll come up with something. Thank you very much, and thank you also liftserviceinc.com, and we will see you guys next week. Have a good day.